I could never be like that. Without Jesus Christ, we could be all of the above. Forgiveness is based on love, involves bearing the cost of someone else's mistake. It means giving up your rights in certain situations, ignoring certain things, even when you know you are correct. Easy? No. Challenging? Yes. But I often have to think, when I'm having a hard time forgiving somebody, could it be there's others who are having a hard time forgiving me? A root of bitterness. Many people are there, or again get a root of bitterness, and it can come also from an unforgiving attitude and spirit. A root of bitterness is a source of bitterness in someone's life. It's in the heart, and it can cause outward manifestations. Now, is it not interesting that some of these things will cause an outward manifestation? Flip it, when the fruit of the Spirit is within us, it'll cause an outward manifestation. But what a difference. When a person is bitter, you can sometimes see it on their face. Even the medical field has said bitterness is not really good for the body. It can harm the body physically, but it's in the heart. So what is in the heart does come out. So when people say, well, he's only looking at the heart, you better believe it, but it's what comes out of the heart. So it is when we walk in holiness in the Lord, and our character being developed, that's going to start coming out of how we look, how we appear, how we conduct ourselves as well. Let me just move on here. There's some other things I'm just going to pass over. You can get these, as you get these notes, you can look at it. Another one is murmuring and complaining. Do all things without murmuring and disputing. If there is a problem, the scriptural method is to go to the brother you do not agree with and settle the difference. Murmuring and complaining. In Exodus alone, there are 12 major complaints of Israel against the plan of God and against their leader. Murmuring stems from unbelief and lack of respect for godly appointed leadership. You read those stories, the earth opened up for Korah, etc. Murmuring and complaining is not the solution to a problem if you feel you're being mistreated. Noted in our lesson here, an excellent example of a proper attitude is found in David's relationship to Saul. When Saul was trying to kill David, David refused to kill him. And as long as Saul was king, David did not want to harm him. David waited for God to move Saul out of the way. Murmuring and complaining. Don't be known as somebody to uplift. Well, I don't like the colored chair. I don't like this. I don't know why. Always murmuring and complaining about everything. Busybodies. It's someone who is inquisitive about other people's personal affairs. Somebody who meddles in the business of others where things don't concern them. Pride and a proud look. God hates a proud look. He resists pride but gives grace to the humble. It's interesting to note that pride was the sin that caused Satan to fall, and it will cause the destruction of all who abhorred it. And we have a lot of things that say they are pride. Interesting that some activities that people are involved in today, pride is within their title of who they are or their activities. What does the Bible say about it? Pride. Okay. I may finish earlier today, Samantha. Or Sabrina, not Samantha. Okay. So one of the things is these are areas where whenever I've been dealing and teaching with holiness, these are some other areas. And we're going to get into some of these other things about our appearance and activities and so forth. But to me, these are really issues of the heart, much harder to deal with and easier to disguise, to cover up. But God can help us to get rid of these things and also to see the fruit of the Spirit more displayed within our life. So I challenge you and say, Lord, don't let me just think the fruit of the Spirit is within my life. Help me to develop it. Let me see where I'm lacking and help me by your grace to develop. These areas where we were talking about on the negative side of the works of the flesh, and we didn't get into the whole list of the works of the flesh, but some areas that reflect to it. That God, I don't want those things in my life. I really don't. Because again, it's very, very strong about those that are involved with these things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. And is it not interesting? The envyings, the murders, the drunkenness, the revelings, and such like. Is it not interesting that he is writing to believers? We're reading the epistles. These are letters written to believers. So, this is nothing new. Our old flesh has had issues for generations and generations since the fall of man. And so even here, in writing to the church at Galatia, Paul is listing hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, he's writing to people like us who are spirit-filled, water-baptized, these issues that we're going in. But in all of that, but the fruit of the Spirit, the shift that can come when we follow him. So I'm going to conclude there today. I know I'm done a few minutes early. I was kind of running real fast at the beginning. But maybe there's some questions or comments. I don't know. If not, you have about an 18-minute break. You'll not be charged for that. Sabrina will not bill you. She may bill me because I didn't finish teaching my whole time. But also, I'm aware if you're anything like me, after you have lunch and come and sit down, it can seem a long time. Any questions or comments? Okay, Sabrina, I will turn it back to you. They've got a few minutes
Got a break?
early. You've got a break. Your next class will start, wow, in 20 minutes. No, about 18 minutes.